Kenneth Walker was charged with attempted murder of a police officer after the raid in March, but those charges were later dropped. He is now suing the Louisville Metro Police, claiming misconduct. Joining us now is Stephen Romines, one of Walker's attorneys. Thank you, Mr. Romines, for joining us this morning. I want to start with the Attorney General's findings that the police were justified in shooting because they say your client shot first. What do you say to that?
Well, in every other situation in Kentucky, a justification of self-defense is determined by a jury, and it should be in this case as well. When we start letting elected politicians determine by prosecutorial fiat who should be charged and who shouldn't, then we are going down a very dangerous road. It is the exact opposite of the way our criminal justice system should work, and unfortunately, it happens oftentimes in police shooting cases that the prosecutors say, well, the police were acting in self-defense. The police do not have any higher right to self-defense than any ordinary citizen does in Kentucky.
Yeah, because, Stephen, isn't your client saying he was acting in self-defense? When you listen to his 911 call, he clearly didn't know that they were police officers.
Absolutely not, and that is why the case was dismissed against him, was that he was reasonably acting in self-defense, and he's in his own residence, so he has a presumption that he's acting in self-defense. We've got a dozen neighbors who were interviewed by police as well, who said they never heard the police announce that they were police. There's no question they were beating on the door, but they never announced as police. Attorney General Cameron said, well, the two police said they announced. So we're going to start taking the word of the targets of the investigation as exculpatory.
But they also said, Stephen, they also said they had a witness who said that they heard the police announce themselves.
Yes, and that witness, Gail, was interviewed by the police 3 days after this happened initially. And he stated, I did not, exact words, did you hear them announce as police? He said, I never heard anyone announce as police. He was subsequently interviewed 2 more times over the next month by law enforcement, LMPD law enforcement, and he eventually says, yeah, I may have heard them announce they were police. In fact, I saw a uniformed police officer. That's after the shooting had already occurred.
There seems to be some confusion, too, Stephen, about the ballistics in this case. What do you know about that? What the ballistics shows in this case? I know what the ballistics done by the Kentucky State Police show, and that it was whether or not Kenneth Walker's shot hit Sergeant Mattingly. It was inconclusive. I've got the documents, and Attorney General's Cameron's got the documents as well. But I don't know why he wants to play these games about talking about small portions of the evidence and not releasing the entire file. Release the entire file and let people make their own decisions, which is the same thing of indict them, apply the presumption of innocence, apply the rule of reasonable doubt, let them go to trial, and if they're acquitted like everybody else, fine. But do not, by prosecutorial fiat, say they're innocent, they're exonerated, and I'm going to decide they don't get prosecuted. Well, there are still...
The other thing about it is, Gail...
Yes, sir.
...is the issue of self-defense justification in Kentucky law does not apply when you kill a third party. If they're acting in self-defense on Kenneth Walker, as they claim, they don't get to kill Breonna Taylor as well.
All right.
And that's the law. So him telling us what the law is in Kentucky, that's not the law.
Yeah, Stephen Romines, there are so many questions in this case, all of it very upsetting. But what we do know, it's also not okay to shoot at police officers in the streets. You know, the violence has got to stop. Violence on top of violence on top of violence will get us nowhere. But I really, really thank you for taking the time this morning. Many, many questions remain.
No problem.